Hello everyone, this is Miss Kayla with the Coopersville Area District Library here with another adult craft night for you. Obviously in the title we do call this adult craft night, but I've been trying to keep them pretty easy and pretty simple so you can do them with your kids, your grandkids, your neighbors, whoever else you want to invite over. Unfortunately, we're not doing them in the library at this point, but we encourage, safely getting together with other people and making this a social event because that's half the fun. But today we are making book page garlands. So I will show you, this is the sewn version. I will show you how to make both. But if you have a sewing machine at home, this one is actually easier and quicker, I find. But if you don't, there is also an option for a non-sewn version that looks, pretty much the same idea, same kind of aesthetic. It just depends on whether or not you can or want to sew. Obviously you will need a sewing machine if you do want to do the sewn version, but of course you just need glue and scissors and paper and some ribbon if you want to do the non-sewn version. Both are easy, both are simple. It's really up to you which one you want to do, but with that, let's get started. So for the sewn version of this class, obviously you will need a sewing machine. Doesn't need to be anything fancy. The only thing you're going to need is a straight stitch. Obviously some thread and some needles for the sewing machine, your circles that you're going to sew together, and a pair of scissors. I have my trusty gingerbread man scissors. And so what we're going to do to this is pretty much all we're going to do is just sew a straight line. So you take your first circle, lift up your foot, and then just bring your needle down to get started, and then we're just going to start sewing all the way down the middle here. Your words don't have to be any certain way. I'm just doing it upright because I like the way that looks. So let's start sewing your straight line. And then when you get to the end of one circle, you can either just go right away if you want them to be really close together, or you can just give it some distance. I've just been doing when the bottom of the circle gets about there, that's when I do it, just to keep it pretty even. So now that it's there, you don't even have to lift your foot. You can just kind of slide it under there because it's so thin, and just keep going. And then all you do is you just keep doing that until you have your garland as long as you want it to be. So that was 3. I'm just going to go to 5 just to give you the idea. But again, however long you want it, just keep going. So that one's 4, so this is going to be my last one. And then what I like to do is once you get your last one, just keep it going for a bit, just so you have something to hang it by if you want to tie it on something. And then when you're done, all you're going to do is lift up your foot, snip it, and that is it. You have your garland. Like I said, just go for as long as you want, and you don't have to do circles. I just had white thread because that was in there last time, and it kind of works out because it blends in with the paper. But you can use whatever you want. If you want to do something Christmassy, use like red or green, or if you have some gold or sparkly thread, that'd be really cool too. But that is it for the sewn version. So as you can see, pretty easy. All you need is basic sewing skills. As long as you can sew something close to a straight line, you are good. And so with that, I am going to show you guys how to do the non-sewing version, which is great if you don't have a sewing machine or you don't know how to sew. You can still end up with the same thing. So we will do that next. So here we are at a slightly different angle for the non-sewn version of this craft. So with this one, all you're going to need is, of course, your paper circles, not squares, paper circles. These are just the same size because I cut them all out the last time. You will need some string or some ribbon. I just prefer this rather than the thread just because it gives something else to stick to. I just borrowed some of this, flat plastic ribbon from the kids' closet, same kind you used to wrap presents and those kinds of things. You'll need a glue stick, And then you will need your handy pair of scissors. So for this one, all we're gonna do is we are gonna try to find the end of this ribbon. Or we might just create our own end on this because I don't know where it starts. So we're just gonna create a start there and just roll out as much ribbon for as long as you want to be your garland to be. I'm just making a small one, so I'm not going to do a super long length there. And then this one, instead of just being one-sided like the sewn version, we're going to use 2 for each section you want. So this one, actually, because this one's blank on one side, we are just going to start by putting glue on that side, because this is going to be the inside of your circle. Doesn't need to be really neat as long as it sticks together. Then you're just going to take your ribbon, lay it on there, and then just stick your other circle over there. And that's it. We got writing on both sides. That, again, that's it. Super easy craft. I'm just going to do a few more just so you get the idea. Just some glue. You can space it however far away you want. If you want to be, really a perfectionist, you can get your measuring tape or your ruler out and measure it. But I'm just going for quickness for the sake of the video. So again, just glue those 2 together so you got it double-sided. I'll do one more with you. And I just like the look of more writing. These are about even, but if one has less writing, you can always just stick that on the inside so you're not going to see it. So again, just some glue, doesn't need to be super neat. I'm just going to eyeball the distance between these. Stick it on your ribbon. And just stick another circle on the other side. So as you can see, both ways of this craft are super quick and easy. So you can make as little or as much as you need of these in whatever time you need. It shouldn't take very long. I'll just trim off my end there. And that is how the glued version of this looks. Pretty much the same, just a little thicker ribbon, but that gives you a little more options. You can use twine if you want to. Really anything that's not too thick and will stick to glue works. I'll show you side by side. Just so you can see kind of how different those are. Let me bring my camera down a bit so you can see it. So they end up looking pretty similar. Same idea, just this one's a little thinner just because thread is thinner. But that is it. These would be super cute for like a birthday party. You can use different color construction paper or whatever pattern paper you have. I am actually making these for my own wedding. I'm making the sewn version, and I'm using silver thread because our colors are black and silver, so it's going to work really well. And of course, as a librarian, I have to, incorporate books, so this is an easy way to do it. I hope you have fun. I would love to see pictures of your finished project. If you do make these, you can always send them to the library or share them on Facebook with us. We like to see, patrons interacting, especially when we don't get to see in person all the time because of COVID. We love to see that people are doing it and enjoying it. And so with that, I hope you have fun crafting, and we will see you soon.